Hello and welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner and another shoot at the Work Truck Show. This one is a cornerstone of what you do.
Absolutely. Gold mine.
In my opinion. And we are actually going to jump into it right away, and we hope you figure out exactly what it is, although the title at the bottom is going to kind of give it away. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to give a little bit of a preview. I sold Will a truck, and I delivered it. He did the paperwork. And then I told him in about 2 weeks, I'm going to come back. I want to make sure the truck's working for you. And then we'll go from there. So we're on that second visit.
Vendor Referral script. He is the sales consultant. I'm the business owner that just purchased the vehicle.
Will, great to see you again.
Hey, good to see you too, Coach.
You too. And real quick, I want to know my purpose today. How's that truck working for you that we just sold you?
Excellent.
Oh, wow, that's great. So no problems.
No problems. Love the beautiful white truck. Everything's good.
We love beautiful white truck as a Ford. Well, quick, we're big on customer service at our dealership, and I'd like to ask you a couple of quick customer service questions,
let's do
if I could.
Okay.
Number one, as far as your process in acquiring a vehicle, you're a new customer for us. Is there anything in that process we could have done better, or is there anything that stood out?
It stood out because it was completely different than any way I've done it before. He brought everything to me, made it as easy as I could, minimal downtime for the business, so as far as I'm aware, it was perfect.
Okay, good. Well, what about me? Is there anything I could have done to improve your experience?
Same answer. You were fantastic and really appreciate all your effort that you gave.
Then I'm assuming you're going to give me a 10.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, real quick, I know you've been in business in 19 years. You must have quite a few vendors that service you where you're actually the customer and they and you write checks to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. About how many?
22.
22?
22
wow.
currently.
Okay. Do you think they would enjoy the same level of service that you just described you received?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, great. So how do we get in touch with them in a way that's comfortable for you, knowing we're about relationships?
Right. I could get you a list. I could get my assistant to give you a list, maybe a spreadsheet. Would that help?
Oh, that would help.
Okay.
In fact, if we could get it directly from her, I know how busy you are. The only thing I would need, if you could identify maybe the key contacts that we should be talking with as far as the acquisition of vehicles.
Yeah, I can do that. It'd be a little more time, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay, super. Hey, I appreciate so much. I promise you that we'll follow up on every one of these and we'll keep you in the loop. I'd appreciate you helping us out so much.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's the script. We're going to be back to talk about the segments and how to really break that down the rest of this Coach's Corner.
Yeah.
Okay, so part one is creating value through asking customer service questions. Go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, notice the questions I asked. I asked about the overall experience. He told me it was great. I asked about the truck itself. How's it going? It's wonderful. I asked about myself. What did I do or what could I have done better? And I got again. So I got like a triple yes. You guys are great. So because we've had so much value, it gives me the right to do some things. And will kind of introduce step two.
Yep. So the second aspect of it, and this is a critical step, and there's critical wording here too that you've even adjusted over the time, is actually asking how many vendors they have. And what's the critical component of the way to ask that?
Well, I started running into issues way back, probably 10, 11 years ago, that if I said vendor, they were a little bit confused. But when I said vendors that service you where you're the customer, that's a key. And then you write them a check, and that kind of solidified it. So those two steps we think are critical in that whole process, because now they go, oh yeah, vendors.
Right.
And the great thing about that is they often would not give you their customer names, but when they are the customer, you've got what we term a leveraged referral. They almost have to take your call because their customer told you to call.
Right. And we'll get into segment 3 in just a second, but I think it's a good chance to enter this here of why you go this route of the vendors, obviously you already explained, versus the customers, versus simply asking for the referrals in the way that everybody does it. Hey, if you know anybody that's in the market for a truck, please let me know. Why is this so effective?
Well, number one, the first one is very vague, and here's the answer you're going to get 99 times out of 100 when you say, gosh, I'd love to help anybody that you know that I could, sell a vehicle to. Gosh, I'd be so appreciative. The answer you're going to get 99 times out of 100, well, yeah, I'll keep you in mind, and if I can think of any names, I'll get them to you. That meeting's over, they go back, and they've got all the headaches of the day. They forget totally about getting you referrals.
It's a positive response, but there's never any action on it. And even if there is, it's certainly not efficient.
Right.
This is. This gets you the names, this gets you companies, potentially buyers in many cases,
right.
And you can roll right in and move on.
Yeah, unfortunately, notice we created a category. That's
right.
important. I mean, we said vendors. And again, it's leverage. They don't mind giving you the vendor names because they are the customer. They won't give you customer names until well into your relationship. That will come one day, but not initially.
Let's talk again so that the point really hits home about the process of actually asking for the referrals, because there's obviously different parts to the script here, and even when people get it down of asking how many vendors you have, some people get a little clammy, a little bit nervous actually doing the payoff question of actually asking for the referrals. Any tips on that?
Yeah, you want to be gracious. That's the biggest tip I can get. And you want to create a question that there's only one answer to, because they've already told you how great you are, all the wonderful things you do. So when I say, do you think they would appreciate, key word, the same level of service that you just described you received, guess what? There's only one answer. And that one answer is yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't say, well, no, I don't think they would appreciate that level of service.
Right.
It's not going to happen. I've made this call well over 200 times. No one's ever said no. That's how powerful this process is.
Yeah. And I mean, I was on a call with you, I guess it was a little more than a couple months now. It was in November. And we went to a guy who wasn't a whole lot older than me.
Sell side.
Yeah, he was maybe 33, something like that.
Right.
And had 103. We were there with Jeremy Smith of McGrath.
Right.
And it was as smooth as this was.
Yeah.
There were no issues, no real even, as soon as that word vendors came in, you could see his eyes kind of turn, and then you went where you're the customer.
Right.
And bang. Everything opened right up. Not that it wouldn't anyway, but that was kind of the key to it all.
Absolutely.
And then it was all downhill from there. So practice this and get better at it, and you'll find some success.
Yeah, very simple.
Thank you.
Go sell something.
You got it.